Hey there, Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto, looking at this 1996 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado. This one here, four-wheel drive with lockable center differential and lockable rear differential for the option. 3-liter turbo diesel engine. An automatic transmission, 166,000 kilometers on it. We'll check the car. We'll compare it to the auction inspection sheet from which we bought the car from. Here you can see 166, 40,000 kilometers. The overall condition is good. It is a little bit on the scratched side in some areas. I will show those to you. I got to mention, first thing, this is first time sale to this customer who comes from an experienced position of importing cars and was a little bit surprised to find that the cost of shipping for us is nearly $1,000 less, or should I say 100,000 yen less than the other company that he was buying from. And I just wanted to point that out because that's the kind of thing when people are like, who's going to be the cheapest? I'll go with the cheapest car exporter, only to find that that car exporter is tacking on extra fees here and there. And I think it's something that a lot of people don't even think about. Cost of shipping should be pretty similar from exporter to exporter. Every exporter puts a little bit of margin on there, but some of them charge a lot of margin. Anyways, let's take a look at this car and not get too much into details for that. The engine running condition is good. It has a little bit of oil around the intercooler pipe, which is common for blow-by on a turbocharged engine. You can just clean that up. It is completely fine if there is a little bit of blow-by. If it gets too bad, you'll have to rebuild the turbo, but it doesn't look like that's going to be too much of an issue on this one. 94,000 kilometers in 2009. The timing belt was changed. The coolant looks okay. The oil looks okay. And the auction sheet said that there's rust in the engine room, and the only rust that I could find is right here. I don't know what you can see. There we go. All right. I couldn't find any other rust. There sometimes is some underneath batteries because if battery acid leaks, then it causes rust. But down in here, not really any problems. There is a little bit of rust on the engine mount over here. Right there. Okay. And yeah, this is the intercooled version of the engine, which will get you a little bit more horsepower because they can turn up the boost a bit. Oddly, no hood scoop. They've got this weird system where the air intakes are right in the grill. They come up through this port into the hood and then through that slot right there. Land Cruiser Prado, this is a 90 series. One of the best SUVs for off-road ability. Of course, the regular version of the Land Cruiser is maybe a little bit tougher, but this is a good compromise. You get a great vehicle, a 3-row, you can put 7 people into it comfortably, more comfortable than that. You get independent suspension instead of the solid axles, which is a suspension that is more tame on the road. Okay, here is the auction inspection sheet, and I'll just pull this down. It's very bright today. Nice temperature though. It's 25 degrees Celsius here. So this one here, 1996 Land Cruiser Prado TZ, auction grade 3.5, interior C, exterior C. That seems about reasonable for this car. 166, 277 kilometers, no sales points, no notes. The auction report here says rear side member corrosion, engine oil minor leak, door mirror scratched, trim scratched. Now I will show you that corrosion in a second. The engine oil leak is what I already showed you there. Door mirror scratched, trim scratched, engine room rust, exterior various scratches and dents, underside surface rust. Underside looks fine. There is a tiny bit of corrosion and some surface rust in the back area. I'll show you that. Headliner's dirty, which is not too dirty. You do have to watch out for that, especially on anything like a Honda Odyssey, Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, Mitsubishi Delica, Toyota Crown. It usually means the car's been heavily smoked in. This one has been smoked in, and there are cigarette burns that weren't mentioned on the auction sheet. There are really 2 issues. Cigarette burns weren't mentioned, and AC not working wasn't mentioned. Interior dirty, windshield rock chip, again not a problem. Steering wheel grip wear, yep, it has at least medium wear. I would replace the steering wheel on this one. Floor carpet is dirty, seat dirty, wear and saggy, interior dirty, and animal hair. The animal hair didn't bother me, and there isn't a smell inside, or at least a bad smell inside. What are you doing? Get off of my auction sheet. The body has a lot of marks on it. And here's something to keep in mind too when you're looking for cars at auction. If the car has a lot of marks on here, there's a good chance that either maintenance was neglected or general upkeep was neglected, cleanliness and that sort of thing. So do be wary of any of them that have too many marks on here. This one's a little bit borderline. I say that this is fairly accurate, lots of A2s, and then the B3 is not as bad as I thought it would be, and I'll show that to you. Okay, first things first, I'm going to show you the corrosion because that's kind of the important one. Okay, so the back panel here, and I'm going to get underneath the car to show you this. Surface rust, you have some on the fuel tank protector. Okay, and then you have some up here on the rear beam. This is what they would consider surface rust. There's no signs of corrosion anywhere, which would be like a kind of softer metal that has been eaten away. Okay, there is a little bit of corrosion right here. Okay, and then the area on the rear side, remember, that has corrosion is likely this, what they're talking about. Not the worst. And the rest of the frame all looks fairly sturdy, dependable. I don't know what you want to call it. Okay, the rest of the underside is all good. Let's just make sure that we are seeing everything here. Okay, yeah, good. Let's do it once around. And then I'll get into details for the body. 90 series, yes. Excellent. Very good, very reliable. Many years to come for this vehicle, even though it's already 25 years old. And can you believe that? 25 years is a long time for a car. This one still looks very good. All of them do. I have a soft spot for Land Cruisers. I want one myself. Did you guys know that there's a new version of the 70 series set to come out this year? And I plan to buy one for myself because I missed it in 2014 when they re-released it for a special 1 year only model. And I wanted to get my hands on one ever since. 90 series, very good. 150 series, very good. 200 series, very good. 300, I wanted to buy, but they're currently higher than MSRP. Okay, so let's look at details here. Front bumper, they said A2 on it. So we got scratches here, like you parked too close to a wall or something and then hit some concrete. And then we have some right here. So the previous owner was maybe not the most careful person. Now this also coincides with the U3, so this part here has been dented in, and that's what they considered the A2 U3. Okay, we also have scuffs on the over fenders, and that goes with both front over fenders. The mirrors are a little bit cloudy. You have a little bit of rust on the edge. There is one fewer mosquitoes in the world now. Get out of here. Yeah, a little bit of surface rust on the edge of both wipers. It's the exact same amount. You can see the wear on the steering wheel through the window. You can feel it while you're driving, so that's why I say time to change it. Most of the older Toyotas have a vinyl steering wheel that wears smooth and grippy. No problem. This one's a leather wrapped one. This section here looks like scratches. That's actually paint fade. It comes from the hard water here in Japan, hitting this and then dripping down, and just a lot of water hits that same area and will cause damage. Okay, over here we got a dent with some surface rust that's coming through on whatever whiteout type material that they use to cover it. A little bit of a shame. And then a lot of scratches around the door handle as if the person was drunk driving constantly, which really isn't an issue here in Japan because, well, I don't know if this is the reason why, but there are very severe punishment for doing that here. Okay, lots of scratches around the door handle, and then scratches on the over fender as well. Coming down here, that's looking good. Back bumper. Now they did say A2. Most of our scratches look like they're down here, right on the edge of the loading part of the bumper. See, they have this protective piece here, but it kind of scratches the paint right below the protective piece. Rear sonar, it beeps when you're going to hit something. It's an option. It's not on all of them. Both of these surrounds have been knocked off. Unfortunately, those pieces are pretty easy to knock off, but it is a little bit ironic that the car is like, watch out, you're going to hit something, stop moving, and then someone continues to move and then destroys the sensor that is there to make sure that you don't hit anything. Ironic. A couple of scratches there I didn't notice before. Land Cruiser Prado. Oh, and yes, the Prado is entering the US market from the 250 series that's coming out this year. Now, they always kind of had it. I think GX, the Lexus GX has been the Prado forever. But they never had the actual Land Cruiser Prado, and I think they're calling it the Land Cruiser 250 in the USA when they decide to bring out the 300 later. Okay, so fade on the grill there, and fade on the grill here. But besides that, I think we're looking pretty good. You know, it did say a lot of A2 on the bumper, it did say a lot of A2 on the vehicle. There are a few, A2 on the car, exactly what we thought. The back opens sideways, and yes, it is a 3-row. It looks like the previous owner of this kept the 3rd row in the up position its whole life. The reason why I think that is because it has the dealer option protective piece for the carpet here. And then it has little cutouts to put your little hooks. The cutouts haven't been cut out, so the hooks for these haven't been able to be used. If you ever wanted to put these seats down, you'd have to take this out. Why would you take it out instead of just cut this out if you're going to regularly use the seats? So these seats have probably never been used in its whole life. They still have the dealer optional seat covers. They're pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's not a full set, and a dealer optional seat cover isn't going to last 25 years anyway. Such is the case, the front one's ripped. The back has a few scratches here and here. You get a ton of space with those seats in the flipped up position. And you can move that seat forward. You can flip it down and then slide it to give you a little bit more room. Unfortunately, it doesn't fold down flat. Okay. All right. Fine carpet underneath. There you can see the little hooks that you need. It's very easy to unhook these. You unhook this, flip this up, and it goes down, and then it goes back up. It said headliner's dirty. It's not too bad, but there is a little bit of damage there. You can see some scratches in it. And again, you would think it would have been heavily smoked in with that comment, or at least mildly smoked in. It doesn't smell like cigarettes inside. Okay, the tint on the windows has gone bad. You can see the lower section has curled up or has ripped off. It also has a lot of scratches on the film. The glass itself is fine. Time for that film to go. Same thing goes with this one over here. A lot of scratches. A weird little wavy section in the middle. Okay. Not my most comfortable seat, if I had to choose one. Suitable for adults. Plenty of room. Not very contoured. Kind of stiff. I think that done on purpose because the Land Cruiser 80 series and 100 series were more comfortable, and they didn't want to steal their own customers away. That's as far as it slides forward, and then this can tilt at different rates, but sadly can't go completely flat. So you can't have really a sleeping platform. Not like this would be large enough to sleep on for anyone but a 4-year-old. And something that's a little bit weird, you want to get into the back seats. The whole seat has to move, which means no car seats would work in here. Unless you want to take your car seat out each time. And then when you click it back in, it clicks very upright. And I always feel like this needs to be pushed back 1 or 2 clicks to make a more comfortable seating position. Okay, always loved this floor carpet. It's the same color scheme as you get in the Hilux Surf, also known as the 4Runner. And this vehicle is very similar to the 4Runner in a lot of ways, but it is a larger, chonkier vehicle than the 4Runner and has full-time 4-wheel drive instead of the part-time 4-wheel drive, though both of them have a locking center differential. This one, you don't see this very often. Locking rear differential, that matters a lot for the 4-wheel drive in this. And then otherwise, the front is a limited slip setup. So the 4-wheel drive right out of the box is good. This one here is better. And we do get to test a lot of these four-wheel drives because you need a good four-wheel drive to get up that rocky ramp there. Prados are great with that. So I wouldn't be worried if you wanted something that's a little bit serious. Needs to be washed a little bit, a tiny bit of sag here. Cigarette burns. There's one right here. It kind of blends in a bit, but not really. And then other cigarette burns here. Can you see that? And here. And here. So weird that they didn't catch all the cigarette burns, but those inspections are very minor inspections. It's very common for them to not get everything. Do keep in mind you are buying these vehicles wholesale through the auction, which means that you're getting the wholesale prices on them, which is several $1,000s less than retail. So if you get cigarette burns, it's kind of part of the deal. 166, 340 kilometers. There's a field gauge here. This is really cool. It'll tell you over the last 12 hours what different things are, like your temperature over the last 12 hours, your altitude. It has a timer, what your speed was over the last 12 hours. It's a very cool little thing. Also has a clinometer and your compass. This is an old OEM Navi. It's gone dead. It might still work, actually. I don't remember. But even so, it's not going to work outside of Japan. Yeah, it looks like it works. Voice navigation. Cool. You can't see it very well, but it is there. Okay, and yes, the AC, not cold. Okay, shifting was fine. Four-wheel drive is fine. I did select that. Comes with a turbo timer of all things. A little bit worn out tray there. And some cracks in the pillow here. It's a soft pillow for your elbow. This opens and has dirt inside, black. And that one opens and you get a couple of cup holder flip down style here. Okay, this one has a sunroof. Didn't test it, but it's tilt and slide. We've stopped testing the sunroofs just as a precaution. And then as you can see, it says Prado, friendly relationship between earth and people. Very Japanese. Yeah, I mean, the English is very Japanese style English. A tear here and missing the bottom piece, and as you can see, it doesn't really fit that nicely. Pretty common of an OEM seat cover set. They're not that expensive. That set was probably like $500 or something to add on to the price of the car, and the dealer installs it for you. Okay, so that is going to conclude this report. If you're interested in something like this, check out our website. There's a link to it in the description to the video. Thanks so much for watching this, and have a nice day.